I'm about to reveal my incredibly easy 1-minute scalping strategy that I used to buy my very first Rolex. So if you want to consistently make thousands of dollars in just minutes, then put your phone away, get you a notepad, it's time to lock in because I'm about to blow your mind. So this strategy calls for a 3-step process. First step is we need to figure out the daily bias. Step number 2, we need to look for our setup. And step number 3, we need to look for our secret entry candle. And that's all you need to see consistent profits every day. So the first thing we're going to do is find the daily bias. So we're going to come up here to indicators and we're going to add an EMA, which is short for moving average exponential, right? So you're just going to type this in up here and then this will pop up right here. So now that we have this blue line, right? We're going to change the settings to 13. So you're going to come to settings, go to length, change it to 13. That's all you got to do. You can change the color if you want. I've just opened up a free exclusive Discord community where we're going to have everything from day trading to Bible studying. So if you're looking to get closer to Jesus and become financially free, then click the link in the description to claim your free spot, and I'll see you guys in the server. Now let's get back to the video. But that's all you got to do. So now this is what we're going to use to find the daily bias, right? So when the candles are respecting it and bouncing off of the top of it, we're going to be looking for buys. If price comes under it and starts bouncing off of it from the bottom, then we're going to be looking for sells. Very simple. I'll show you another example. Candles come under the line, we start bouncing off of it. We're looking for sells until we break above it. If price breaks above, starts respecting it, we're looking for buys. It's that simple. Now, if the line is going in the middle of the candles, that means the market is consolidating and we're not looking for any trades until we go to either side. So if the line's in the middle, we do not trade. And step number 2 is to find our setup. So our setup is supply and demand. You know, we're supply and demand traders over here. So let me give you a quick example of a supply setup. So we have a supply push. And if you don't know what a supply push is, it's just multiple candles, the same color, showing momentum in the markets, right? So we have 1, 2, 3 candles. This first candle is very huge, followed by a second and a third candle showing momentum to the downside. This is what you call a supply push. Here is another supply push, huge candles showing momentum going down, right? And for a demand push, it's the same thing, just going for buys, right? So demand means buy, supply means sell. So when we're looking for demands, we're looking for price to be going up. So this is a demand push. We have a huge candle followed by another huge candle. This is showing momentum and demand in the market. Here is another demand push, 3 candles, the same color, strong candles that are big, showing momentum. Very simple. Of course, all our supply and demand setups need to have a gap attached. So to see if a supply or demand push has a gap attached to it, we're going to go to the candle before the supply push started, right? So if it started right here, we're going to go to the candle before, and in a sell situation, we're going to take a horizontal ray and put it at the bottom of the wick. Right there. So I forgot to mention, if you're looking for a broker or a prop firm to use this strategy on, then I'm going to give you guys my top recommendations. So if you're outside of the US, I'm definitely going with Funded Next. They're paying out in 24 hours and they got up to 95% profit split. If you're looking for a broker to trade your personal capital, then I would go with Henkel Trade. That's who I've been using for years, and that's who I decided to trust with a large amount of money. So I'll put my affiliate links down below, and you can use code FXCarlos with Funded Next and you'll get you some perks. But now let's get back to the video. We're going to skip the second candle, which is where the supply push started. Go to the third candle. We're going to get a horizontal ray again, put it at the top of that candle wick. If there's no wick, put it at the top of the body. Now, if these two lines are not overlapping like this, then we have a gap in the market and it needs to be filled, right? So once we determine that there's a gap in the market, we take our rectangle. We're going to draw it from the first line we drew to the swing high, which is just the highest point before we had that supply push. So it would be right there. And then you drag it out, right? In this case, you would have lost the trade, but it's because we don't have all our other confluences in line. But this is the setup that we're looking for on the 5-minute. Once we have that and we have our daily bias in check, we're going to go to the 1 minute. And this is where the 1 minute strategy starts. So on the 1 minute, what we're looking for is a trend line break, right? So we're going to draw this trend line right here. What makes a good trend line? You want to have at least 3 taps coming off that trend line to make it valid, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 taps on this trend line. So this is a valid trend line. We want to at least have 3 taps. And all we're going to do is wait for this trend line to be broken with a bullish engulfing candle like this, right? So if we were going to take this trade, we would be entering right here with the stops above the candle. Always give it a little bit of room, right? Don't just put it right on the top. Give it a little bit of room. So in this case, this is how we would have entered, and this is just a random trend line break and you would have won. But now once we mix it all together and put it into a strategy that we can use, you're gonna see how high the win rate gets. So now I'm gonna show you an example with putting everything together. So this is Thursday of last week. So as you can see, this EMA is going through the candles, it's kind of consolidating. It's not really giving us a good push above, right? We broke above right here, but we got small candles, not really showing momentum. And then we just disrespected it right here. So we're just gonna forward until we get a good push above it. Okay, that's a great push. 3 candles showing a demand. Now we're getting our setup, right? Okay, so let's zoom in. Let's see if we have a gap attached to this demand push. So we'll take a horizontal ray, and since we're buying up, we're gonna put the ray at the top of the wick. So remember, we go to the candle before the demand push, right? Before these 3 candles, we go to that candle before it. And since we're looking for buys, we're gonna start off by putting the line at the top of the wick instead of the bottom, like we showed in the earlier example. So we're gonna skip the first candle, go to the 3rd candle, put it at the bottom of the candle because there's no wick. So if you zoom in, these lines are not overlapping, so that means we have a gap in the market. We're going to take our rectangle, draw from the first line that we drew to the swing low, right? Lowest point before we pushed off. Drag it out. So now we have our EMA on our side telling us that we want to go up. We have our supply and demand set up. Right now we're going to go to the 1 minute and wait for an entry candle. And if you need more information on supply and demand, I have tons of videos on my YouTube for free. Go ahead and check it out. But this is everything you need to know. But now let's go to the 1 minute and get our entry candle. So now on the 1 minute, all we're doing is waiting for this zone to get tapped, and we're going to draw a trend line that forms, right? So let's go to the next candle. Okay, we tapped it now. Now we're waiting for a trend line to break. So you can see we have a trend line right here. Let's take our line, draw it from the tips of the wicks. You always want the tips of the wicks. You want to at least have 3 taps. We have multiple taps here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we have multiple taps. So we're waiting for this line to get broken with a nice candle showing us momentum, right? So let's forward. Okay, boom. So we would have entered right here. Stops below, and we're gonna put this to a 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3. Okay, so TP is hit, right? We had some drawdown, we had some scares, almost some people would have got out the market, but as long as you stick to the strategy, you would have been good. So we go and hit TP right there. That's a 1 and 3. So let's fast forward. Let's see how high we went. Okay, yeah, we went pretty high. Okay, so this is a 1 to 6 right here. So if you would have risked $1,000, you would have made $6,000 right there. Okay. So now that you know how the strategy works, let's do some back testing so you can see it works consistently, right? Because we want consistent profits. We don't want to just get lucky. So let's go. Okay, now I want to prove that this strategy works on a consistent basis. So let's back test 1 or 2 days just to see the results. So what we're going to do is we're going to minimize this so we don't see what's happening. Then we're going to go to the 1 minute because we might not have enough chart data to use a higher time frame. So let's go to replay mode, put this in bar replay. Let's just zoom all the way out, go back a couple times. 1, 2, let's do 3. Reset the chart, go back to the 5 minute. Okay, so now we're gonna get closer to New York session. Now, 2 rules for this: we don't trade Wednesdays, and we can look for trades after 4:30 a.m. Pacific time. So let's forward. What time are we at? 3. Okay, 3:40. Okay, we're at 4, so we can start getting ready. Let's see what we're doing right now. We're kind of just going in the middle, but actually that push right there actually is looking good. We're starting to respect this. Okay, this is looking good. So let's go to the next candle. Okay, this is great. We have a demand push, so now we locate our gap. You can see we have a gap right there. So this confirms the gap. So we take our rectangle. We're going to draw from the beginning of the first candle, drag it out. Right, this looks good now. We have everything in line. We have our EMA showing us that we want to go up. We have our supply and demand set up. So now we're going to go to the 1 minute and wait for our entry candle. Okay, so now that we're on the 1 minute, we can wait for our entry. So let's forward. We're waiting for a trend line to develop and for it to tap our box, or at least get very, very close to it, but we want it to tap. Okay. Okay, boom. Now we're there. Now we're close enough, right? We're basically tapping it, if not tapping it. Okay, so we got our trend line. Draw like that. So we need to see this break for us to enter. Okay, we broke it right there. Let's enter right here. We'll be entering on this candle. It kind of went a little bit forward, but we enter on this candle. Remember, give it a little bit of space. We want a 1 and 3 minimum. So let's zoom out. Let's get this 1 and 3. Okay, boom. Now let's see what happens. Ooh, straight to TP. Straight to TP is looking good. Look how high we went. What did we get? 1 of 4. Let's play it out, see what happens. Might have been all we got that day. Okay, that's all good. It's taking forever. We got us a 1 of 4.5 right here. So if we risked $1,000, it would have made $4,500 right there. So that's fire. Let's go to the next day. Back to the 5 minute, right? Remember, 1 trade a day. We don't need to take 10 trades a day. That's how you start losing. So let's go to the next day. And we're just gonna wait for this to go because I don't want to have any skips in here. So all the haters are gonna be saying I skipped it. We're just gonna wait together. Remember, we don't trade Wednesdays. What are we going on? Tuesday? We don't trade Wednesdays. And 4:30, we start looking for trades. All right, so we're gonna go to 4:30. 4. Okay, we're getting a good push right here. You notice how it looks the same. We broke above. We're respecting it. We're getting multiple candles the same color. So we're gonna draw up our gap. I can see it right there. It's a very small one, right? Take our box, draw from there to the swing low. Now in this case, the swing low is this red candle right here. Drag it out. And now we're gonna go to the 1 minute and wait for our setup. Right, we wanna see a trend line be broken. Okay, so I see a trend line being formed right here. So I wanna see that be broken. Okay, I see another trend right here. You see one of these be broken. Move that down. Okay, there we go. We got our entry candle right there. Put this a little bit below. Got our 1 and 3. All right, so now let's forward it. Let's see. Oh, I don't think we hit it. Oh, yep, we hit it right there. Okay, so TP was hit right there. All right, so this one hit a 1 and 3. Let's see how far it went. Okay, we flew. Oh my God, bro. All right, so this went all the way up to a 1 of 15. Did it keep going or did it stop there? All right, it kept going. Wow, that's ridiculous. So there's 2 random days right there where we got amazing results from this strategy. So now I want you guys to go into the week and implement this strategy and make some crazy profits and tag me on Instagram when you do. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.